Hello, my name is Thomas Karamanukian, and this is Australian History Around Us at Western Sydney University. My local history project will focus on the municipality of Woollahra from 1910 to 1920. More specifically, the local history project will focus on this question. How did the Great War affect Woollahra and its citizens? Pictured on this slide is the municipality of Woollahra. The newspaper article that I will be focusing on is from the Sunday Times, dated August 8th, 1915, titled, Boys Cry in Their Hearts, Won't You Come? A few excerpts from this newspaper article can be seen on the right. I will read them. Mr. Gregory Wade, I say, not peace, no, we must not rest until Belgium and Poland have been compensated, and the sword must not be sheathed until that bright day dawns, when humanity triumphs with universal honor. There should not be a German, Austrian, or Hungarian allowed to go free in this country. They are a menace to everyone. Our boys had hard enough to have gone further, but they cannot until you go over and help them. Although they won't say so, they are crying in their hearts for you to come over and help them. So you go, my boys. Stand beside the lads and do your little bit. What will you say when your children ask you why you do not go? These excerpts are from a speech given at a rally in Woollahra in 1915. Over 2,000 Woollahra citizens were present during this speech, many of whom would see either themselves, friends, or family members enlist shortly after. Population and enlistment records from Woollahra and neighboring municipalities. Sources to be used: the Australian Bureau of Statistics, the Australian Historical Population Statistics of 2014. The ABS has statistics throughout the 20th century that demonstrates population as well as population growth of many municipalities, Woollahra included. Trove. This is an online website that has newspapers, images, and maps provided by the National Library of Australia. These will provide a greater understanding of Woollahra during the Great War period and the entirety of the decade, 1910 to 1920. Lastly, we have the official Woollahra government website. The Woollahra municipality has provided heaps of information, archives, and historical documents from the First World War, including all citizens who enlisted. This list also includes those who were accepted as well as declined, with reasoning in which why they were declined or accepted. These records will allow me to conduct research in determining whether or not Woollahra citizens were more so or less so interested in enlisting into the army and fighting overseas. The Woollahra municipality has several monuments in honor of the citizens of Woollahra who fought in the Great War. Monuments like the one pictured, as well as historical archives made available by the local library, will be used in determining the overall effect the First World War had on the municipality of Woollahra. Secondly, war loan records, as well as enlistment records, will determine whether or not the citizens of Woollahra were as keen in enlisting or supporting the war effort as neighboring municipalities. Pictured is a monument on Oxford Street in Woollahra, right in front of the Victoria Barracks. The monument has the names of all Woollahra citizens who died during the Great War. Continuing on the topic of war loans, pictured are three different articles from the Sunday Times in different weeks discussing war loans and pledge drives in regards to raising monetary funds for the war effort. Collecting money was extremely important in supporting soldiers fighting abroad. War loans were promises made by the government to take money in the form of pledges and return it after the war with interest. Thus, it was a win win for both parties. People who pledged money would get a return plus a profit, and the government would receive money in a time of need. Woollera was one of the wealthiest municipalities at the time of the Great War. Thus, these documents will demonstrate whether or not the affluent municipality of Woollera provided their fair bit of war loans and pledges to the war effort. These numbers will also help determine whether or not the people of Woollera agreed or disagreed with Australia's involvement in the First World War.